Hey, how's it going? Talking Mike here. Let's talk about DC K.O. issue number 2. Warning, there will be spoilers like always. Our story actually starts out with Bruce, Diana, and Clark still playing their game from issue number 1 at DCKO. And the conversation gets brought up because Tim gives Bruce a little icebreaker conversation, and he asks the question, hey, if you weren't a superhero, what would you be exactly? And they say that Diana would be a park ranger because she would tell people about the goodness of the world and nature and stuff like that. They say that Bruce would be a doctor, and then Bruce tells Clark that I think you would be president. And Clark's like, no, I don't think I'll be president. It's not really something I would do. Heroes and villains officially start round 2 of the tournament. They get teleported to this Elder God graveyard, to be exact. Think the elephant graveyard in The Lion King, but a lot bigger and scarier. And we hear this ominous voice talk to our heroes and villains, 32 to be exact. They actually tell everybody who's participating in this that there are 16 artifacts to be exact. Get one and you make it into the next round of the tournament. As everyone is making a mad dash for all the artifacts, Superman actually makes it a point to go after Lex Luthor. He doesn't want Lex to make it into round 3. And we have this really interesting conversation between Superman and Lex to where, like, we find out that they actually put all the villains in the Phantom Zone at before, like, everything went down with DCKO. And Lex had time to think while in the Phantom Zone, specifically to think about him and Superman. And he says he has empathy for him at one point. He's like, you know what? I thought I hated you because, you kind of did everything and you didn't let the human race evolve and fend for ourselves. But I was wrong. You did too little. And he's like, I'm going to do what you did to me, basically. I'm going to bring the Phantom Zone to you. And he pulls out this Phantom Zone lightsaber and cuts Superman's hand off. Lex basically leaves Clark for dead. His hand cut off. He has kryptonite in him. He's looking worse for wear. And he actually goes off to Star Sapphire, who is collecting a lot of the different lantern rings at this point. He actually manages to get the Black Lantern ring, and they're like, what are you gonna do with the Black Lantern ring? There's no dead people around here. And like, au contraire, there is. And he uses the Black Lantern ring to basically resurrect all of the Elder Gods and starts wrecking shop at this point, getting ready to destroy Superman. Lex is screaming at Superman, it's over, Superman, you're done. He's getting ready to crush Superman with the foot of this Elder God. Superman remembers what the mysterious voice said. He said, lead by the example of Darkseid. And he takes this kryptonite that he has in his shoulder and thrusts it into the chest of himself, Superman. And he kills himself. Lex thinks he's won the battle between him and Superman. He starts to gloat. He's like, who's Superman now, old friend? Which we find out that Superman gets resurrected. And we find out that the secret, mysterious item is the Omega Sanction. Superman gets the powers of Darkseid and decimates all of these Elder God corpses. We find out time has officially run out, and we will see them in the next round. Transition from that to Doomsday and Booster Gold talking, and Doomsday is like, we will soon have a new King Omega, and Booster chimes in. He's like, no, we will not need a new King Omega because we already have a King Omega. And Doomsday's like, what are you talking about? And Booster says, me, Darkseid, it's time for me to enter the game. All right, so let's get into the internal artwork for this issue right here. Here is your creative team right here. Give them all the love and respect they deserve. This issue, in my opinion, is top notch on the artwork, especially when we get into the fights and stuff. Like, it really, really goes hard. I love seeing all of the different items that our heroes and villains have to go scavenger hunting for. I just like it that they just show them all, and it's like, okay, which one's gonna go which was probably the most fun part to see, is who got what item. But yeah, this hits so hard, especially when we get into like all the fighting and stuff. I love the weird fourth wall breaking of the parental advisory stickers on the bloody bits. I thought that was really, really funny. But yeah, awesome. Panel layouts are really good. The colors pop off the pages. Like, it is just so jam packed with carnage and goodness. Like, it just every time I flipped a page, it was just insane to me, like what was happening and who got what item. But specifically, what was going on with Superman was probably the biggest thing in this issue, where he essentially like offs himself and becomes Omega Superman, essentially, which was insane to see. I have to say, this issue blew me away. It was such a fun read. So jam-packed with action and different little stories going on here and there. Like, I didn't cover all of what happened in my overview of this issue, but one thing I really liked about it is we actually did get to see a bunch of the other villains and heroes in this go after different rings or artifacts or weapons, devices that, you know, were important in the DC universe. Like, at one point we see the we see the Joker. He has the Atom's belt, and he grows big and crushes a bunch of people and shrinks down, goes into Big Barda's brain. That was pretty insane. And we get to see Lobo fight Starro with Bane's venom, which was pretty gnarly. A venomized version of Lobo is pretty cool. Where I feel like, to me personally, and it's just a really tiny little nitpick going into this, the big reveal that of Darkseid being Booster Gold, that was kind of spoiled a little bit in the first issue, but that's not a big, huge deal. But I am looking forward to seeing where this exactly goes. Like, it had its hooks in me with issue 1, but it definitely has both hooks in my back with issue number 2, and I want to know like what the outcome of this is going to be, to be exact. Like, it is insane about what happened in this. I'm curious to see if they actually get to keep the devices and like all the stuff that they got in this round of the tournament. Like, will Superman have the power of Darkseid moving forward? I want to know, because that is pretty gnarly. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I'm gonna talk to you, Mike. Peace out. Stay safe. Go read some comic books.